So apparently now November is also a big month for camera releases. I think most people usually suspect September or October, but now we've had the Canon EOS R6 Mark II and the much anticipated Fujifilm X-T5 released on the same day. So today I'm going to be talking about the Fujifilm X-T5 and kind of going over what I think is interesting that they did, and maybe it's going to be impressive for a lot of people. I'm slightly, I don't know if I'll say disappointed, but I am a little bit more of a video-centric shooter myself, so I will just say I don't think this is the camera for me, and I think Fujifilm is doing that on purpose. Now, to start off, I do love Fujifilm cameras. My first camera was a Fujifilm X-T20, I think it, or X-T30. I don't know. It was a long time ago. I loved that camera. I still feel like I got some pretty good stuff out of that camera, even looking back now. On looking back on why I got that camera, or at least it was a factor in buying that camera, was just the general look and feel of having that analog style type camera with all the different knobs. It was the two-tone with the black and silver look, and it really did just make me feel like I had a camera. I don't know what the feeling was. I love the retro feel and the look and the utility of it. And I know that I'm not alone, because that is a reason why people love the X-T line in general, and the X-T5 is going to be no exception. So I do think it is kind of interesting, and something that Fujifilm has done here. They do have the same 40 megapixel sensor that is in the X-H2, so it does have that very high megapixel count. It has very similar photo specs. Now, the one difference that you will see is it does have two SD Type 2 cards and not one of the CF Express Type B cards. So the buffer does not empty out at the rate that you would get out of the X-H2. And this is going to be quite a bit cheaper than the X-H2, or at least $300 cheaper than the X-H2. But overall, from what I've seen, the photography specs are pretty much identical. It is the same sensor in there. It has pretty much all the same looks, all the different color profiles. Now, one thing that they have changed is on the video side. Now, I think they're making a very clear distinction here of who they think this camera is for and the market of this camera. They are aiming this towards photographers who maybe want to shoot a little extra video on the side, but the X-H2 and the X-H2S are definitely more of the hybrid centric, can be a photography camera, can be a video camera. Because that being said, the X-H2 shoots the 8K with the full readout of the sensor, and it has a downsampled 4K 60. And this camera, on the other hand, only shoots 6.2K at 30 frames per second and a downsampled 4K 60, but it has a 1.23 crop on it. So that is an additional crop on a cropped sensor already. They do have a 4K 60 mode that isn't cropped, but it is doing some kind of pixel binning and things like that. So it's, generally speaking, it's going to be a softer image. And another thing that they're doing in the video department to kind of differentiate itself again is they've taken away the flip screen, the variable flip screen that was in the X-T4, and now they just have the flip down and the angle screen. And that is actually something that a lot of people had commented saying, oh, I hope they take away the flip screen. And in my mind, I was thinking that's never going to happen. The flip screens are the future in a way, or at least they seem like they are here to stay. But that is actually something that they did. They reverted back to the X-T3 style of screen. And I think that means that they're very in touch with who their consumer is, and they've really put a direction on who they think is going to buy this camera and why. This is going to be for stills photographers first, people who want a retro analog design, and it's really not for videographers at this point. And I think they're really pushing videographers to go up a little bit more in price towards their X-H2 or their X-H2S products, because a lot of people who know the history behind the XH line in general. The original XH line came out and was basically quickly undercut by the X-T3. And then when the X-T4 came out, it even went above and beyond what that could do. So their flagship cameras were, I guess, not a flagship anymore. Now here, I think they're kind of doing a better job of differentiating themselves. And that also explains how this camera kind of snuck up on us and is coming out so soon after the XH2 and the XH2S. Personally, I didn't think this camera was going to be coming out until February of next year at the earliest, but they snuck it in here right before the holiday season, and I guess they did so because they think that they've differentiated these cameras enough for it to not be an issue. And that's basically it. That's the X-T5. It's not some big kind of ground shaking type thing that I think that the X-T4 and 3 were, having 10-bit before anybody else. But I think it is a smart, really unique camera, and I think a lot of people are going to be very happy about it. But drop in the comment section below and let me know, are you happy with the release of this camera? Is it what you were expecting? Are you more excited that they're going back towards the photography roots? Are you kind of disappointed that they're dropping some of the video features out of it? Let me know all that in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Until next time, peace.